Greetings and salutations, citizens of the Imperium. Welcome to another edition of Let's Paint. I'm your host, Trooper6, and we've got Eobard Thawne, or Ebert Thawne, however the hell you really want to pronounce it. The reason why we got that is because I'm waiting on Endryd Haar to dry again, because when I was getting him set up to record, it quite literally fell apart. So I figured, you know what? Fine. We're going to go with something way unconventional, and maybe we could do this in one big episode. So, anybody here a DC comic fan? I am. I've always been a DC head. I did start out more or less reading Marvel comics. Stuff like Hulk, Captain America. And not just any Captain America, like the Ed Brubaker era of Captain America. Like, I started with like Red Menace, and of course that went through the Marvel Civil War. What else did we go through? We went through a lot of crap. Went through the Civil War, went through the death of Captain America, and then Bucky taking the mantle before Falcon ever did. And honestly, I loved it. I loved Bucky as the Flash, or as Captain America. I felt like a buddy of mine had kind of pointed it out right alongside me. I was like, man, I don't know what it is, but I feel like it got better after Cap died. And he was like, yeah, dude, I'm glad I'm not the only one who kind of noticed that or felt that. And honestly, yeah, after Cap was killed, it was such a good story. It got even better. And then watching Bucky having to adjust with the fact that he was the Winter Soldier, and now he was going to be the new Captain America, and his new suit was fucking awesome. He had a badass look to him. Whew, it was so good. But then Hulk, I think the first thing I'd ever read was Hulk Red, or Red Hulk, that story. So I jumped in right there, and I think it was because that story had more or less been like the last thing that had come out. So yeah. But primarily, of course, I was reading stuff also like Batman and whatever. But I did start off reading Marvel, and it was mainly my buddy was trying to keep me with certain writers, because he was like, I call this guy the king of the page turner, and I'm pretty sure he was right, but it was Jeff Loeb, especially partnered up with like Tim Sale for the artist. Such beautiful work. And because of all of that, actually, the Jeff Loeb Tim Sale duo, we had some amazing stories like Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray, Daredevil Yellow, and I believe Captain America White was supposed to come out, but I don't remember ever getting it. I think they had not finished it, or it got delayed or something. I don't quite remember. But yeah, we just didn't quite get our stuff. So Captain America White, I never did get to read. I never got to read that, finish that, and all that. Oh, this Battle Red wants to be a pain? Come on. Usually so cooperative. So yeah, it took me a minute. I didn't realize what this model had until I had primed everything, and I really got to see it. And this model is brought to us by this person. Good job. Sorry, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I honestly did not prep for this episode. It was a matter of shit. Endryd Haar needs to dry. I'm up here. I need to record. So, and I looked at my line and I was like, I could go. Nah. Honestly, the next guy up after Endryd was supposed to be Bizarro. That's right. I got some DC minis coming our way. I got Bizarro. I have Superman Prime. But don't worry, I also have the Hulk. And we are going to do a tribute to Hulk Gray. Because if anybody remembers, the Hulk, original colors, he was gray. If I'm remembering correctly now, if that was like some special thing they did later, because he originally came out green and then they went to gray and then they were like, fuck it, we'll go back to green. Fine. If that's the case, fine. That's whatever. I don't really care that much. But as far as I can remember, when the Hulk debuted, he was gray, and that was supposed to be his little thing. It wasn't later until he turned green. And when it comes to the gray Hulk and the green Hulk, I try to justify it in my mind as it is the same person, but he's kind of evolved. Where the gray Hulk is the tragic big brute, and I do mean tragic because there's a little scene where he's just sitting on a cliffside, and a little bunny rabbit hops over and he's petting the bunny, and then he notices something and he holds his finger up to himself and he says wet, and it's red. He had accidentally killed the little rabbit, and that broke my heart. And I don't know if I cried, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I did. Because that was a very heartbreaking scene for me, was to see this big hulking dope not be able to help it. Like, he wasn't trying to kill it and it died because he's too strong. It's Hulk. He doesn't know. So I absolutely loved that one, and I'm probably going to have to tell that story again when it comes to painting him, because I did order him. I did order a Hulk, and I'm going to paint him gray. Basically, I'm going to prime him gray, and then we're going to paint his shorts on the base, and that'll be that. Should be one of the quicker models that we ever do. And this, I made thumbnails for this one, and I really wasn't sure how long it would take me. I was like, I bet you I could do this in one shot. Might be 20 minutes, might be 40 minutes. I don't know. The longer episodes are harder for me to get edited. And I don't mean like, oh, it takes forever for me to edit. No, when I edit it, it's fine. And then I have to save that edited file. And when that one's rendering and downloading, that's when it takes forever. And the primer did not take to this resin all that well. Or maybe my paint's just a little too... I mean, I am using a contrast paint here, so... Just trying to get this decent enough for y'all, to where y'all won't hate me. And that arm just looks like crap. Alright, moving on. Alright. But when it came to the Flash, this was debatably, I think it was the first DC one that I got. I got him more or less right alongside Owlman, which he is still up there on the shelf. I haven't forgotten about Owlman. It's just not a priority. And honestly, we have to worry about like performance for the show and numbers and everything. We do have to worry about it. As much as this is fun and everything. Damn, this thing wants to be a pain. But yeah, what was I thinking? Right, when it comes to these guys, Reverse Flash was one of my absolute favorites for a villain. You know, he just wants to see. He just wants to see Barry's world burn. I don't think he necessarily cares about the rest of the world. I think he just wants to see Barry's world burn. You know, it's been so long, but the Flash, as much as I was a Batman fan and everything, I always gravitated toward the Flash and Green Lantern. Those were my guys. You know, my buddy, he was the Batman guy, and a few other things. Neither of us were really Superman fans. We did have our Superman stories. They were fucking great. You know, a lot of them just had Batman in it. But like Superman, The Search for K. It's where Batman and Superman are trying to clean the world up from some kryptonite. They go searching around the globe, go to the depths of the oceans and everything, and they round up every single ounce of kryptonite. And they destroy it, or they shoot it off into space, something like that. Again, with me, guys. If I get it wrong, go ahead and fact check me. That's fine. But, you know, you get that classic thing where the trope or the cliche of, here, I want you to have this. And, you know, Clark gives Bruce the last kryptonite, and it's forged into a ring. And he says, I want you to use this, or I need you to keep this. Keep this just in case. Just in case I go nuts and I do something stupid and I decide to say, screw all of you, and I'm going to kill everyone. I need you to keep this, to keep me in check. And Batman is standing there like, okay. I mean, I get it. I don't believe we're going to need this. But I do very much appreciate that you have taken this into consideration. You have honestly considered this as a possibility that this could happen. So he appreciates that. He takes the ring and he says, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. Just for us to find out at the last scene of the book, the last big page spread, not 2-page spread, just the one, that he has that he has all of that. He has an entire room, lead-lined, filled with kryptonite. And he places that little dinky ring right there. And not only does he have all of the kryptonite, but also he has a rock for every color of kryptonite. And of course, these colors do all kinds of stuff for him. I'm talking way a lot about Superman on a Flash thing. So why don't we jump back over to the Flash? So the Flash, my favorite was always Barry Allen. And I'm talking about old school Barry Allen. Even though I read a lot of Wally as well. Because I do love Wally. Wally is fantastic. He's a lot of what Barry isn't. Barry likes to see things in a very black and white world. He's forensic analysis police. All because of the murder of his mother. That's what he does. Just find out, of course, it was this asshole that did it. But yeah, Wally, he's like a car mechanic. I thought that was cool. He was just, all right, that's his day job. He's a car mechanic, and it's something that he loves. So it gave him something else, and it could work for the character as well. So he could do things if he needed to. There's a car that's on a collision course, and he can't necessarily stop it for whatever fucking reason, but he can dismantle that car. because he knows exactly how to do that. And it was just, I loved Wally, and he did face my favorite villain of all time, which, of course, the CW show fucking ruined. No offense to them, those writers and everything. I'm sure they were doing the best with what they could, or whatever the reason may be. I am talking about Savitar. Savitar is my absolute be-all, end-all favorite Flash villain. He is so interesting. He could have been so much more interesting, but they didn't do anything with him. Now, he only appears in one comic, not one issue, but one little series, and I think it's called Dead Heat. It might be Dead Heat. I don't think it was Terminal Velocity. Terminal Velocity was fucking great. Hopefully I'm not wrong, because I am trying to think of this stuff on the spot, and I haven't thought about it in a long time. My comics are over there. They are over there, and I just haven't been able to. I haven't opened those boxes in a couple years now, so I might just have to dig through those and see what I got again. But yeah, Savitar. He took his name. His real name is unknown, and his age is unknown. He's ancient as hell, and he worshipped the Hindu god of movement. They just called him the Hindu god of speed in the show, or I mean in the comic. And his whole shtick was sacrificing. He would sacrifice people to gain their speed, and his ultimate goal was to become one with the Speed Force. And one of the major reasons why I loved Savitar is because he fucking did it. He did it. Wally never defeated him. He never did. He got away with it. All the people that he had sacrificed, everything that he was doing, all the death and destruction that he had caused, he got away with it because he did join the Speed Force. He won. He technically won. And I love stories like that because I feel like that's way more realistic, and as aggravating as it might be. God damn it, the bad guy won. Yeah. Haven't you ever been at work and the bad guy won? Haven't you just been in life and the bad guy won? Have you ever been bullied and that bully just never gets their justice? They never get justice brought upon them. Doesn't that fucking suck? I'm not talking about horrible justice here, but sometimes people need their asses kicked, all right? Or they need a good humiliation. People need that in life, and when the bad guy gets away with it, it fucking pisses you off. So, I always found that very fascinating, that Savitar totally got away with it. And then we fast forward, from the 80s/90s, I believe it was 90s, with that silver age of comics. We fast forward to something a little bit more recent. Now it's history, but to Flash Rebirth by Jeff Johns. We go to Flash Rebirth, and bam, you have Barry Allen running around. I think he's a little stressed at the moment. And he just, he's running. The Speed Force is kind of, emanating from him because he does generate the Speed Force. And then right out of his chest, just boom, fucking Savitar. And he's like, I'm free! Shit like that. And I'm like, whoa! Oh my god! You guys just brought back fucking Savitar? This is an amazing time to get into comics. And he's fucking dead! They killed him. They killed him in one fucking page. And it was an epic way to do it. However, I am still so fucking mad at you, Jeff Johns. How dare you? How dare you do that? I was so fucking mad. I'm still mad at it. I am. You took one of the best characters I had ever seen, You could have done something cool. It would have gave fucking Barry a chance to face him. And then they probably could have teamed up and been like, dude, Wally, holy shit, dude. There's this fucking speedster out there, and he's crazy as shit. He says his name is Savitar, and then he's like, oh my god, yeah, I remember him from fucking years ago. We gotta get him. We gotta stop him. He's fucking dangerous. He kills people. He takes their speed. It's fucking impossible to catch him because he's just that much faster than us. And then Barry's like, it doesn't matter if he's that much faster than us. I generate the speed force. And he could learn to manipulate it, and he could trap him again. It could be amazing. Or hell, then you could dissolve him. But you don't break him out and then just dissolve him immediately. No, you don't do that. You don't do that at all. You sons of bitches. How could you do that to me? How could you? Oh, that made me so angry. Phil, you make me angry, Phil. I'm looking for the orange. There it is, lava orange. It worked out for us great on the Obsidian Suns. By the way, I hope you guys really liked that one. I know you guys like the model, but I'm hoping that you like the series. Two different things. You know, there are certain models that I liked, and I didn't care for whatever the hell was going on. Sometimes you just have personal shit going on, and it gets in the way, or you can tell it's affecting you. But anyway, yeah, I was just so fucking mad. I'm still so mad and bitter at Jeff Johns for that. You son of a bitch. You had something amazing. You had a chance to do something amazing. And in my opinion, you dropped it. You dropped the ball. You let it scatter. You just said, fuck it. You let it pass you on the wayside. And that kills me, sir. That fucking kills me. And that led me and that buddy to create something called, it's called DC2. Because we honestly couldn't come up with a better name for it. This would have been our alternate, imagining of the DC universe. And it wasn't going to focus on certain characters, like Superman was going to take a fucking back seat. Superman absolutely taking a back seat to that. It would be more kind of like what Jeff Johns was doing, was bringing the Flash and Green Lantern to the forefront. And we had new titles and different titles, and then we came up with ideas. Honestly, we spent so much time, smoking weed and just spending hours upon hours poring over our comics and talking about ideas and shit. We honestly came up with about 200 or 250 years worth of material. For about the first 100 years, we actually had notebooks detailing everything. More or less. Detailing it to the point where we were confident enough in our writing abilities that we were going to be able to remember exactly what the hell we were trying to do in whatever series. We'd have the highlight, the bullet points. All right, this needs to happen. This needs to happen. These people need to die. And we even had a system of the triple dead system. So if some character dies, like say Barry Allen. Say Barry Allen dies. If he's dead, he's going to come back in just like a couple years or something like that. If he's dead, you are shelved for, I believe, a minimum of a decade. I believe. If you're triple dead, you're fucking gone. You're gone. And there were quite a few people that we did triple dead because we were tired of them being around. We were sick of it. We were like, all right, we got other shit we can do here. We can make better characters than this. So we did get rid of some people. We made legacy characters. And that was going to be one of the main focuses of DC2 was legacy. Because honestly, when it came to DC, the New 52, that run, the New 52 is exactly what got me out of comics. That killed me on comics because they started telling stories as if they had never fucking told these stories before. I'll never forget, it was Batman and the Mad Hatter. And I was excited, but they were treating it like they had never fucking met. And I was like, dude, I don't have time for a goddamn retelling of this. Of course they've met. How are we going to backtrack like this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. What are we doing here, guys? And it turned me off of everything. And then Flash Rebirth had pissed me off with certain things. I'm sorry, not Flash. Just the new Flash run for the New 52. It started off real good, and I was really, really liking it. And then it just kind of wasn't. I can't exactly pinpoint where in that comic series that it went wrong. Because honestly, I was just kind of fed up with everything by then, and I just dropped comics. And that breaks my heart because I loved reading comics. However, I don't miss going to the comic store every Wednesday, dropping money. Because I am a big fan of Grendel. There he is, Hunter Rose, and then I'll flash to the next ones. There he is, I can't remember his name right now. You got, you got Christine Spar, then you have, what's-his-face, her boyfriend, and then you have Epi Thatcher, and then you have, Orion Asante with Grendel Prime, and the little motherfucker. And I still need to finish Grendel Odyssey. I haven't finished it yet, and I'm very ashamed of myself for it because Grendel is my favorite. It really is. But we are done here. He doesn't look the best, but he doesn't look the worst. And I do want to thank everyone for dropping by for this very special one-shot episode. I can't believe I did it. Can't believe it. You want to talk speed paint? There you go. What is it? 2703. Yeah, at least on my end. I know it'll add a few when it gets to the editing part. But damn. We did it. I can't believe we did it. So thank you guys stopping by. Endryd Haar. We'll get to you because, god damn it. So like the whole base fell off, like this rock. And then I went to go move him and he fell off the rock. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I had to glue all that shit back together. And I didn't want to waste any time. I wanted to paint something. It had been like 2 weeks or something. I wanted to paint something. So here we go. I was worried about this one, but it doesn't matter. Once he dries, I'll put him on the turntable, and I will see you guys on the next round. May the Void Father guide your brush. Peace!